Hey there, folks. It's the E-Man here. Yeah, yeah. I think it's been a little bit since I've done a talking video, so I might as well do a talking video. Yeah. The heat here in Maine is finally kind of dying down a little bit. Had some thunderstorms tonight, but it's been yeah. I don't even have to run the AC at the moment. Just have the fan going because it's not really that hot. So yeah, we get in the 50s at night, so I guess we're getting a little bit of a break from that. Yeah, and mainly I want to do this video also to say that hey, I appreciate that I have 108 subscribers. Yes, YouTube has changed. Well, YouTube has changed a lot of stuff about being able to work with them in a partnership program. They've kind of changing the rules a little bit. So, well, those rules will probably hurt a lot of YouTube channels, especially my channel as well. It's like I'll probably never be monetized. Even if I was to get monetized, YouTube would probably take all of my money from me anyway because they would claim my stuff. Yeah, unless you're making them tons of money, I don't. They're not really gonna care. But I mean, I don't. Whatever. As I said, I'm doing this for fun. I don't really money or fame, but the idea of trying to be well, yeah. Not only that, there's like set things that you have to continuously. Yeah, like your channel has to continuously perform at a certain level. Otherwise it's just not going to work anyway. So probably looking at probably never really getting monetized, but that's fine. I mean, I wonder if to go to another platform like Kick or Twitch or some other platform. Maybe, but whatever. YouTube right now seems to be the best bet to be able to do my channel the way that I want it. I was scouring online because I really wanted to. Yeah, I really wanted to figure out how to play, how to get Rondo of Blood working. I tried getting, the ISO from the TurboGrafx 16, and having to use an emulator and all of that crap, and I was like, it wasn't not really working. The emulator was kind of annoying to use. I know RetroArch has a TurboGrafx 16 thing. Yeah, I play the original version that wouldn't be translated. Then there was a translated version, which I was going to get. Then I thought, oh, I could play the PSP game on an emulator because PSP emulation is rather good. But then I was like, well, that could have another big issue as well. So I was like, I just, you know, so I jotted it down. I just really just kind of typed it out. How do I play Rondo of Blood on the PC? And yep, and it showed a video way back in 2019 from yeah, I think his channel is still up. I think. I took a picture of. Yeah, I'm not gonna show the picture on here, but I will say what his name is. Let's see. GoldenEye 32X. I posted this 7 years ago. It is essentially a fan port, he calls it, to be able to play Rondo of Blood on the PC. And it's also the translated version. So all the voice acting is English, the words are English. The opening still has German, but there's English subtitles. I guess the German talking is just to make it feel old or more in place of old world Europe. I guess most people in Europe would have been speaking German at that time, so that's why they give it a German. The German guy is talking. But there's English subtitles, so at least you know what he's saying. But it's interesting. It was just I think they just did that for some kind of cinematic reasons, or they thought it would make more sense in the game world, I guess. Yeah, and I have recently played it. There's a little bit of an issue setting up your controller to work with it, but once I got that figured out, I mean, it works pretty well. You can do, you can set it to autosave. You can sound settings, video settings. So yeah, there's a few things you can do. Because this was back in 2019, so yeah, I was expecting not to be able to download it, but yeah, there was a link in the description, and I was able to actually go get this and download it and actually play it, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, I have a. Well, what's cool is it was even well done. It even has a. Yeah, look at that. Dracula X Rondo of Blood. There's like a shortcut button that it put on there. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, I guess the one thing with this is it says do not delete any of the files. I guess other people have had issues where they try to go back in and play it, and it claims that something is missing from it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I would warn people that maybe sometimes your virus protection may give false positives on this, and it could possibly quarantine parts of the game, and then it won't work. I've had that happen with a lot of fan games. But it's a fan port, and he was only going to do it for the PC. He's not gonna mod it to work on anything else. It was just on the to mod it on for the PC use. Using a wireless Xbox One controller. I was amazed. I thought I would have had to use a wired controller, but nope. Yeah, as I said, the button configuration is a little bit weird. Like, I think he showed, yeah. Well, yeah, and make sure if you do get this, you have issues with it. Read the comments, because he does explain a little bit how the button configuration works. Sometimes you have to hit the button that you want to use for that particular button like multiple times. Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's like the full English translated version of it. It's not the Wii Virtual Console version that was. Well, I mean, you can still play it even if it's not the translated one. You just won't know what what the heck they're saying. Well, I mean, you'll get a gist of what they're saying if you've played this game before. Yeah, I don't have to play through the whole PSP. The remake, of course, Rondo of Blood was remade in the Dracula X Chronicles or something. So yeah. Well, then also the PSP version also had the Sympathy of the Night. Yeah, I was also yeah Sympathy. There's also a Sympathy of the Night recomp for the PS1. So I'll probably be trying that out. But I just wanted to tell you guys how excited I was to finally find a way to play Rondo of Blood. Without having to use a ROM or an ISO or an emulator. I think it might be using some kind of coding thing. One of the issues is I think that sometimes the music seems too quiet, or the sound seems too quiet. But yeah, but I mean, then I was like, oh well, this is kind of like an old school kind of gaming. So perhaps this is the way it kind of looks. Haven't really played it too much yet, but it seemed to work and run good. Still a very great game to play. I mean, it's not gonna be like super HD or anything, but it's pretty cool. I really do appreciate that this dude went through the trouble to do this. Yeah, well, and since we are starting to get to where we're in the digital future, where we don't own anything, so it's cool to have this because as long as the program doesn't get corrupted or something, I'll be able to play this forever. No one can pull it off of a store or something. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you could play the original version that was the untranslated version because, well, the Wii Virtual Console's gone. I mean, you can get the ROM for that particular game probably. I never really had a TurboGrafx growing up, so there wasn't a lot of good games for it. That was another big thing, and then also there were issues. Well, it just didn't sell well here. Yeah, it just didn't sell well here. So it suffered kind of the same fate as like the Saturn did. And then there were, and then it suffered the same issues too. People started saying, "Oh, well, it's 16-bit, but it's got an 8-bit processor." A lot of people like the minute they heard the hardware was an 8-bit processor, everyone's like, "Oh, man, I don't want to do it." Well, and Sega and Nintendo pretty much were running the show. They pretty much had the market on a lot of games. So the TurboGrafx 16 just there's a lot of great games for it, but yeah. Well, technically, all TurboGrafx 16 stuff is owned by Hudson. Hudson Soft actually owns the TurboGrafx 16. There was a TurboGrafx 16 Mini came out a while ago. I mean, there's a lot of great shoot 'em ups and certain games on it that are really good. But, well, it was back when it was that was considered the first. I believe the TurboGrafx 16 was like the first console that had like a CD-ROM add-on. Normally, they use cue cards. Yeah, a lot of them use like the Hue cards they call them. Almost like little credit card things that slip into a slot. They were kind of like early, like more thinner cartridge. Yeah, and a lot of the TurboGrafx 16s, a lot of the yeah, you have to get one modded because a lot of them just used I think a lot of them used RF. So yeah, a lot of them you had to get a special attachment in order to use try to get them to at least audio and video. So yeah, I mean the console didn't really the best visual things, and nowadays it's very harder to get to work on a modern television, and a lot of times the TurboGrafx 16s are very expensive, and a lot of them may not be working. You have to have a lot of yeah, you have to have the CD-ROM attachment. I think you have to have the special card in order to run Rondo of Blood too. So yeah, I think there's a special, special upgrade or add-on you need to be able to even play the TurboGrafx 16 version. Of course, in Japan, it was called the PC Engine. Sounds kind of ominous. Uh, well, I mean, of course, the TurboGrafx 16 was, of course, back in the day when 16-bit was considered pretty cool. Yeah, 16-bit was considered pretty cool. So for a long time. Yeah, it just ended up not selling well. So it became just another console that kind of really didn't do anything, but it has some great games. Yeah, a lot of the great games were in Japan. Yeah, and Rondo of Blood had been like, I didn't even know Rondo of Blood even existed until a couple of years ago. Like, I didn't even know it even existed. Of course, I had played the Super Nintendo version of it, Dracula X, which it was not meant to be a port, but more of a whole kind of rethinking of it. So we did get Richter Belmont, but we got kind of a different one than what we got with the TurboGrafx 16 or PC Engine version of it. Yeah, and it's just I thought about trying to find a physical version of it, but then I was like, I don't really have the console, and it might be kind of expensive to try to hunt that down. Yeah, I went through a lot of trouble to get my Sega CD, Sega CD for the Genesis. I had to kind of bite the bullet. Just I got a Type 2 one, so yeah, I got the version 2 of it. Not the first rendition of it, but the second, the Type 2 version, Sega CD. I think luckily I got it from someone who, thankfully, maybe they didn't really play it a whole lot. It's got slow loading times, but early CD-ROM things. You can get burn discs, but I've had interesting uses with them. Yeah, well, especially the Sega CD, you can actually burn games, but then there's the thing where if you're playing burn games, sometimes that disc can wear out something in it. Well, the Sega CD has to plug into the Genesis in order to work, so it's technically using a lot of the processing power from the Genesis to to do a lot with the video output signal. I do have my I have my Mega SG from Analog. I have that. Like the Genesis, I can use HDMI, and plus I can plug the Sega CD attachment right onto it. No 32X support, but whatever. Yeah, as I said, I just wanted to to ramble too much about stuff, but I was very happy to find a way to play Rondo of Blood. Well, it was made a long time ago. I mean, this was before we had the recomps and stuff that we have now, like a resurgence. I might see there's a way to actually talk to this guy because I would be really interested to talk to him about what he thinks about all the recomps and everything we have now. That this Rondo of Blood could have been a recomp or something. Maybe it's still. I don't know if there's any plans for it, but it's definitely another one of those video games that's kind of hard to play unless you get the actual physical hardware and the software, which can be rather difficult to do. Like finding one that works and finding all the right attachments and stuff to make sure it works, and then it's hard to play it on a modern TV, and then it would be even more harder to try to capture it without it having unless it's been modded for HDMI or something. Yeah. Yeah, so, well, I guess that's probably about what I was going to say. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward. Yeah, definitely, yeah, looking out for my videos of Rondo of Blood. I'm definitely going to give that game a definite shot. Yeah, it's one of the only major games I know that was on the console. The biggest game that a lot of people talk about, because there wasn't really a lot really on it that I've really heard about. Rondo of Blood was always a big thing because it was, as I said, only until recently were we able to actually even know the game even really existed here. Yeah, we got kind of a version of it on the Super Nintendo, which was good. It was a good game in its own right. The Final Battle with Dracula on the Super Nintendo game is crazy. Excuse me. Yep. So I just wanted to tell you guys that, and especially if you guys want to go out and play that, yeah, you'll have to go find his. Yeah, you have to look up his YouTube channel. Yeah, I would have left a link, but I don't really have his permission to leave links to it. So yeah. So last time I checked, I just downloaded it off of there. So yeah, check him out. Yeah, let me look again. Yeah, so it's Golden Eye, like one word. Yeah, Golden Eye put together. 32 Golden Eye 32X. Yeah, you look that up, you'll be able to get that port. Yeah, I don't think it's not supported anymore. Yeah, but yeah, might want to get on it because I don't know how much longer it might be available. Yeah, you never know if it's gonna get pulled or whatnot. But I thought he did a really cool video on it because he showed it and then showed the instant download link. Because a lot of times a lot of people on channels like show these really cool games, but for some odd reason will not tell us what the name of the game is and won't give us any way to be able to play it. I mean, it's cool to see someone playing it. I've seen some YouTubers play a game, but they don't actually say where they got it from. Oh, I understand why some of the time they don't want to say, because maybe there might be some illegal gray area or something. But yeah, but don't worry, there is a port of it. Some people with Windows 11 had said there were some issues with it where they had to set it to full screen in order for it to get it to work. I have not encountered any of those issues. It may be just because Windows 11 has been updated a lot since then, so maybe that's what part of it is. Anyway, if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe, and feel free to leave any comments. Have any of you guys played Rondo of Blood? Do you guys own the physical copy of it? Because I only know of a few YouTubers myself that have it. I know that James Ralph or was it Mike Mattel, they have, you know, they actually have the physical game. They actually played it on their old James and Mike Mondays video. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Bye.